Hello everyone, welcome to Rob's Rogues in the Batman Universe.net, and today we're taking a look at the Batman Arkham Knight line by Arkham Knight line. Sounds like I said Arkham Nightlight. Yes, I have a Batman Arkham Nightlight from DC Collectibles. This is figure number 7 from this wave. It is Catwoman. This completes this wave for me. This Catwoman, I think, looks absolutely fantastic. I think she is actually even better than the preview image that we saw. I think they, as much as I like the preview image, I think they nailed this figure just from looking at it, looking at her in package here. I think she looks fantastic. I can't wait to get her out of package. I do have Catwoman from the Arkham City line, and I liked that figure, but if you go clear back to that video, maybe I'll put the link down here below if you want to watch it. Some of the older videos sometimes I kind of cringe at, but I kind of commented on her face. The body sculpt was really good, but her face was a little too mannish, and I feel like sometimes that is where they mess up. Sometimes, quite a few times, where they mess up in the female figures is that sometimes they just don't get the sculpting right in the face. And I feel like they have her face perfectly. It's just like how she looks in the game, and she looks female in the face, which is a plus. I said it before in my haul video. I really think that the figure kind of looks like Nicole Marie Jean, who is a cosplayer. I'll put a picture of her in here. She is cosplays as Catwoman, and eerily, she kind of looks like the action figure, or the action figure kind of looks like her, which is probably just a strange coincidence, but still, nonetheless, that's kind of what I think of when I look at this action figure. Here's the side panel, the wire armature and Catwoman's purple colors. The other figures in the wave here that we already have seen and I've already reviewed. This is from Wave 2. We have Nightwing Robin that I've now since removed his hood, and I think he looks a lot better. Of course, Catwoman here and Commissioner Gordon. This was a solid wave, and one that I was very happy to get. All of the figures looked absolutely fantastic in this wave, I thought. And Catwoman is going to be one of my favorites from this wave, I think. She just looks really good. So we'll stop the talking right here. We'll get Catwoman out of package, and we'll get a closer look at the Batman Arkham Knight Catwoman figure. All right, we have Catwoman out of package here, and I just got to say that this is a beautiful looking figure. I do have an issue with my Catwoman. I'm really hoping it's only just my Catwoman, and it's not a problem throughout the Catwoman that have been released. She's sculpted great. I think this is the best looking Catwoman that I have in my collection. I might argue that the Hero versus Villain 7-pack might be the actual probably best Catwoman out there. But this is a really close second. And the thing that really does it for me is her face sculpt, which I think is absolutely fantastic. It definitely captures the look of the video game. She looks like a woman. We will bring up the Arkham City Catwoman for a reminder. If you go back to her video, I was really commenting on my distaste for her face, but she is sculpted absolutely beautifully. I love the glossy and black matte finishes on her. The textures just look really good. This makes me wish I could have seen into the future and told myself, don't buy the Arkham City Catwoman, buy this one. So she just looks really cool. I love how they put the silver on her claws, which looks really good. All of the buckles and straps look really good. The design on the back of the suit is perfect. And the thing that I really like is that she is wearing the shock collar that the Riddler gave her in the video game. It's even got the little clasp here where she has to put in the key after her and Batman go through. Actually, it's right here, rather. Go through and get all the keys that will slowly unlock the bomb that's strapped around her neck. So I thought that's pretty cool. But it also kind of just looks like a necklace at the same time. rather than being this gaudy looking. I mean, it kind of maybe is gaudy, but the detail in her is just really, really good. The issue I have with her, and I'm going to steal a phrase from Chapman Films, she has loose leg syndrome. I mean, that's not good. As far as DC collectibles go in this line, we haven't been plagued with a lot of things like this from the series so far that I can tell. So I'm really hoping this is just mine, but this is just really poor. And I do think the way that it's sculpted, I'm kind of moving the legs. We'll do part of the articulation. This is far out as the legs go. The original Catwoman from City was just a straight forward and back. I would have rather had that. Yeah, it'd have been nice to, have, T-jointed legs or whatever. But it's not like they give her the ability to do any type of a split or a kick. It's not a clear plastic peg. Sorry, Catwoman, to do this to you. If it is, and maybe it is. I'm probably in too far here. I didn't think it was clear plastic. No, it's a black peg. I think just due to the way that the hips set in here in her lower part of her bottom, it's not holding the legs really well. Now, as you could tell, she was standing just fine on my review table. So just the weight of her torso kind of sitting down on her legs is able to keep her standing up. So it's not like she has such loose legs that she's going to fall over. Tapping on the table doesn't cause her to fall over either. Now with, a nice, jolt to the table, or if another figure in your row happens to topple over, she is going to go down. So I thought, well, at least I can probably get her on a stand. She doesn't have any peg holes, which the Arkham City Catwoman didn't have any peg holes either. And I'm like, you make the stands that, you can buy now. And I think every figure should have the ability to be able to peg into a stand. So if you have something like this, at least you can kind of secure it. She doesn't have that luxury to be able to do so. A friend of mine was kind of telling me maybe I could drill a small little hole into her foot and do that. I've had somebody say I could use some like sticky tack on a base. And I do have a base that the peg broke off of, a really old base. So I thought about doing that just so she has some stability, but she may kind of be leaning up against another figure. So yeah, that's one strike to the figure. Other than that, I really, really like it. And this is by far my favorite Catwoman I own. So I would like to think if I picked up another Catwoman, I would hope that her legs wouldn't be like that. I don't know necessarily if I'm going to. If I run into a breakage problem, then yeah, I definitely would. I said before in her box review, I'll put a picture of the cosplayer, Nicole Marie Jean. I think this looks a lot like her. Granted, she definitely does look like her Arkham Knight counterpart in the video game, but it just kind of has that cosplayer look that I'll follow on Facebook. But anyway, since I was moving the figure around, let's take a closer look at the articulation of Catwoman. Her head is... this whole series, for the most part, all the characters have a good range of motion. She can look left to right. It's on a nice ball peg here, so she can look down a little bit. The collar does get in the way, and looks up slightly. Arms go up close to, well, it's almost a 90 degree. So it's pretty close to being straight out. They go all the way around. There's a single bend at the elbow, rotation in the hands, a pivot at the hands, no rotation anywhere here, and the ab cruncher up here, which, you know what, I've had this figure out for a couple weeks. I didn't realize that she turned at the upper waist. That's really surprising. That was hidden really pretty well there, but I didn't even notice it. So she does have an upper waist, upper breast swivel, if you will. Legs, like you saw, go out about that far due to the hips. Forward, this one goes up more than what the other one does, but man, these just feel like they want to pop right off. Upper thigh swivel, which is really tight. This one doesn't want to move hardly at all. Double jointed knees, which is nice for Catwoman. And you can see the whip comes off, and there's a reason why it comes off. So it's cool to have a double jointed knee, but she can't do much with it since she doesn't have good range of motion in her legs. I hinge at the foot, which is really kind of tight on this figure, and no ankle rocker. Now, you saw the whip come off. She does come with quite a few accessories, so you could take the whip off from her side right there, and it's meant to do that. And she does come with a loose whip that you can put in her hands. So that's cool that they gave us two whips, one to kind of have mounted onto her side, and then one to kind of be able to display with your figure, which I really like. And it's a nice soft rubbery whip, so you can get it to kind of wrap around her if you choose, or however you want to. It does look a little funny having the spot open here. I'm going to have her with the whip on her side. The other accessories she comes with are sets of hands. So we have a set of hands that are open, and then a set of hands that are closed. And they just slide right off. Well, I say they slide off. And they don't want to slide off. Sure, Rob, Catwoman's hands do come off. And they're really sharp too. So trying to pull them off, they were actually digging into my finger. So I'm going to put an open clawed hand in here, and I'll probably just keep it that way. So there's a hand for her to scratch with. So I think this is a really, really good figure. This entire wave was a wave that I knew I definitely wanted. Every single figure was a must-have in my book. So what I'd like to do is bring up the Arkham City Catwoman, and you're going to see a big difference just between the two figures, and especially the face. Okay, this is supposed to be the same character. This looks like mother and daughter cosplaying. The face on the Arkham City Catwoman is just really mannish. The other thing is the chest area is a little bit more defined. This one's a little bit more subtle. But the biggest thing for me, aside from the face, is just the color palette of the character. And I did like this one, but she seemed a little too blah in the paint department. Having the nice glossy and even the flat black on here, the black here is really kind of a gray and washed out, and it made her look dingy. Yes, I know she was going around through Arkham City, but the upgrade and the overall sculpt of the two figures is night and day in my book. And which Catwoman is going to be prominently displayed on my shelf? It's going to be the Arkham Knight Catwoman. Again, this is see now, there she fell over just a little bit. I had her legs spread just a little too close together. I need a little more stability. But I was saying until she fainted that as I do like this figure, but I think she's going to kind of get shifted towards the back row, so the Arkham Knight Catwoman is more prominent up front on my shelf. Again, I like both of them, but if somebody was like, okay, I've waited till the Arkham Knight game is coming out, which Catwoman should I pick up? Hands down, it's going to be the Arkham Knight Catwoman. And here is Catwoman with actually the battle damage Batman, which is the next figure I'm going to review. She looks really good with the Arkham Knight Batman, and it's a really beautifully sculpted figure. I highly recommend this Catwoman. Again, she does have some loose legs, and I'm hoping it's just mine and it's not the standard norm for this Catwoman. Maybe there was just somebody didn't put it together quite right, but I do love this figure quite a bit. This whole entire wave of Robin, Nightwing, Commissioner Gordon, and Catwoman has been my favorite so far of the Arkham Knight DC Collectibles line, and a figure I can't recommend enough. Just kind of be cautious with the legs, and maybe you can kind of shake the box a little bit and see if she wiggles around a little bit. But today we were taking a look at the Batman Arkham Knight DC Collectibles Catwoman figure. And as always, this is Rob for Rob's Rogues and the BatmanUniverse.net signing off saying we will see you guys next time.